The discovery. The vast chamber of the Galactic Council fell silent as Zorax, the Arcturian representative, stumbled to the podium. His tentacles trembled, and his bioluminescent patches flickered erratically, betraying his agitation. The assembled delegates from 1,000 worlds leaned forward, sensing the gravity of the moment. Esteemed colleagues, Zorax began, his voice amplified by the chamber's acoustics, I come before you with news that threatens the very fabric of our galactic peace. He paused, his compound eyes scanning the room. Earth, the quarantined world of primitives, has built a fleet. Murmurs of disbelief rippled through the chamber. Earth was supposed to be a backwater planet, its inhabitants barely capable of reaching their own moon. The idea that they had constructed a fleet worthy of the Council's attention seemed preposterous. High Counselor Xyra, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline matrix, pulsed with concern. Explain, Zorax. What kind of fleet? Zorax's tentacles writhed as he activated a holographic display. The image of sleek, predatory ships filled the air above the council floor. Our long-range scans detected these vessels, hidden in the asteroid belt of their solar system. They bear weaponry that rivals our own and propulsion systems that, he hesitated, that we cannot fully comprehend. The chamber erupted in chaos. Delegates shouted accusations and demands for action. Some called for immediate military intervention, while others insisted on caution. Xyra's voice cut through the din like a laser. Silence. The chamber stilled. We must approach this with wisdom. Earth has been isolated for centuries. How did they achieve this level of technology? On Earth, in a hidden facility deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Sarah Chen stood before a wall of screens, each displaying a different section of humanity's secret fleet. Her weathered face bore the lines of a woman who had carried the weight of a world-changing secret for far too long. Status report, she barked, her eyes never leaving the displays. Captain Alexei Volkov, a burly man with a thick beard and quick eyes, stepped forward. All ships are at full readiness, General. The Artemis, our flagship, has completed its final system checks. We can deploy at a moment's notice. Chen nodded, a grim smile playing at the corners of her mouth. Good, because that moment may come sooner than we expected. She turned to face the assembled officers, her gaze intense. The Arcturians have detected our fleet. The cat's out of the bag. People. A ripple of tension passed through the room. They had all known this day would come, but the reality of it still hit hard. What's our move, General? Asked Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the lead scientist responsible for much of the fleet's advanced technology. Her small frame belied a fierce intelligence and unwavering determination. Chen's eyes narrowed. We stick to the plan. We've prepared for this for decades. Humanity will not be found wanting. She turned back to the screens. Initiate Protocol Omega. It's time to show the galaxy what humanity is truly capable of. As alarms began to sound throughout the facility, the officers sprang into action. Chen watched as the first ships began to power up, their energy signatures masked by technology that had taken years to perfect. In the depths of space, aboard the Arcturian observation post, Junior Analyst Kreela stared at her instruments in disbelief. The human fleet was disappearing. But that was impossible. Nothing could hide from Arcturian sensors. She quickly sent a priority alert to her superiors, her appendages shaking with a mixture of fear and excitement. Back in the council chamber, the debate raged on. Xyra struggled to maintain order as factions formed and tempers flared. The militant consortium, led by the warrior race of Krell, demanded immediate action to neutralize the human threat. The diplomatic coalition, headed by the empathic Lyrians, called for peaceful contact and negotiation. Amidst the chaos, a quiet voice spoke up. It belonged to Venera, the ancient representative of the enigmatic Quarren race. We have watched the humans for millennia, Venera said, his voice barely above a whisper yet somehow heard by all. They are young, yes, but their potential is unsettling. We would be wise to approach with caution, lest we awaken a slumbering giant. Lyra considered Venra's words carefully. The Korin were known for their foresight, and their counsel was not given lightly. "What do you propose?" she asked. Venra's multifaceted eyes glimmered. "Send an envoy, one of peace, but also of strength. Let us gauge their intentions before we act rashly." The council chamber fell silent as the delegates pondered this suggestion. It was Zorax who finally broke the silence. "And if they prove hostile? If this fleet is but the first step in human expansion?" Venra's reply was chilling in its simplicity. "Then we will have no choice but to do what we must to preserve the balance of the galaxy. But let us not condemn them without cause. The humans have surprised us once. They may do so again." As the council debated, unaware of the true extent of human capabilities, Earth's forbidden fleet prepared for its unveiling. In orbit around Mars, the Artemis, a ship that represented the pinnacle of human ingenuity, hummed with power. Its captain, Maya Donovan, a woman whose life had been dedicated to this moment, stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the red planet below. "All systems are go, Captain," her first officer reported. Maya nodded, her voice steady as she gave the order that would change the course of human history forever. "Commence Operation Starburst. It's time to introduce ourselves to the neighborhood." As the Artemis and its sister ships engaged their revolutionary drives, preparing to break free from the confines of their solar system, the fate of humanity hung in the balance. The galaxy watched, waited, and wondered, would this new player on the cosmic stage be a force for peace or a harbinger of war? In hidden bases across Earth, humans from all nations worked feverishly, united in purpose if not in governance. They had poured their hopes, dreams, and ingenuity into this fleet. Now, as the ships prepared to reveal themselves, a mixture of pride, fear, and determination swept through every person involved in the project. General Chen, watching the fleet's energy signatures pulse on her screens, allowed herself a moment of reflection. They had achieved the impossible, but at what cost? And what challenges lay ahead? As if in answer to her unspoken questions, a new alert flashed across her display. The Galactic Council had made its decision. An envoy was on its way to Earth. The stage was set. Humanity's great gambit was about to begin. The envoy, the sleek diplomatic vessel of the Galactic Council, christened the Harmony, dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of Earth's solar system. Its hull shimmered with an iridescent glow, a testament to technology far beyond human understanding. On the bridge, Ambassador Lyra of the Lyrian race stood with her hands clasped behind her back, her large, empathic eyes fixed on the blue-green jewel of Earth. "Fascinating," she murmured, her melodic voice tinged with genuine wonder. "To think such a small world could harbor such potential." Beside her, Security Chief Grax of the Krell snorted, his scaled skin rippling with barely contained aggression. "Potential for destruction, you mean? We should have brought a battle fleet, not this pleasure cruiser." Lyra turned to him, her expression serene but her tone firm. "We are here to open dialogue, Grax, not to start a war." The Council's decision was clear. Before Grax could retort, the ship's AI chimed in. "Ambassador, we're receiving a transmission from Earth. They're requesting permission to send a shuttle to dock with us." Lyra's eyebrows rose in surprise. "They detected us already. Interesting. Grant them permission, but maintain our shields at maximum. Let's not take unnecessary risks." As the Harmony moved into high Earth orbit, activity on the planet below reached a fever pitch. In the United Earth Defense Command Center, buried deep beneath the ruins of old Geneva, General Chen paced back and forth, her eyes darting between holographic displays of the alien ship and the incoming shuttle. "Talk to me, people," she barked. "What are we dealing with?" Dr. Tanaka's fingers flew over her console as she analyzed the incoming data. "The ship's energy output is incredible, General. Their shielding technology alone is decades beyond our most advanced theories. But," she paused, a small smile playing at her lips, they haven't detected our stealth satellites. Our own scans are giving us a clear picture of their capabilities." Chen nodded, a grim satisfaction in her eyes. "Good. What about our shuttle? Is Captain Donovan ready?" "Aye, General," came the crisp reply over the comms. "The emissary is prepped and ready for launch. We're just waiting for your go-ahead." Chen took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. This would be humanity's first official contact with an alien civilization. Everything they had worked for, everything they had sacrificed, had led to this moment. "Captain Donovan, you have a go. Godspeed." The sleek shuttle, a marvel of human engineering designed to impress as much as to function, detached from its orbital dock and smoothly made its way towards the Harmony. Inside, Captain Maya Donovan checked her uniform one last time, ensuring every crease was perfect, every metal polished to a high shine. Beside her, Dr. Elena Rodriguez, Earth's leading xenobiologist, fidgeted nervously with her datavat. "Relax, Doc," Maya said with a reassuring smile. "You've been preparing for this your whole life. We've got this." Elena nodded, taking a deep breath. I know. It's just, everything we thought we knew about alien life could be proven wrong in the next few hours. It's exhilarating and terrifying all at once." As the shuttle approached the Harmony, both women fell silent, awed by the sheer scale and beauty of the alien vessel. A tractor beam gently guided them into a docking bay that seemed to shimmer into existence as they approached. Aboard the Harmony, Ambassador Lyra prepared to greet the human delegation. Despite her centuries of diplomatic experience, she found herself unusually nervous. These humans were an unknown quantity, capable of technological leaps that should have been impossible for such a young species. "Remember," she said to her team, which included the ever-cautious Grax, "we are here to understand and to foster peace, but stay alert. We don't know what to expect." As the airlock cycled open, Lyra stepped forward, her arms spread wide in the universal gesture of peaceful greeting. "Welcome aboard the Harmony," she said, her translator converting her melodic language into crisp English. "I am Ambassador Lyra of the Galactic Council. We come in peace and with open minds." Maya stepped forward, matching Lyra's gesture. "Greetings, Ambassador. I am Captain Maya Donovan of Earth's United Defense Force, and this is Dr. Elena Rodriguez, our chief scientist. We thank you for this opportunity for dialogue." As the two groups began to exchange pleasantries, tension slowly eased. But beneath the surface, both sides were acutely aware of the high stakes of this encounter. The humans knew they were technological underdogs, despite their recent advancements, and were desperate to prove their worth. The Council representatives, for their part, were still trying to reconcile the supposedly primitive humans with the advanced fleet they had somehow managed to build in secret. Back on Earth, in secret facilities around the globe, engineers and scientists worked tirelessly to bring more ships online. The revelation of the fleet's existence had accelerated every timeline. In orbit around Jupiter, the massive shipyards, hidden within the gas giant's swirling storms, hummed with activity as the next generation of vessels took shape. General Chen, watching the diplomatic feed with one eye and fleet status reports with the other, couldn't shake a feeling of unease. Something about this felt too easy, too convenient. "Captain Volkov," she said, turning to her trusted right hand, "initiate Protocol Shadowfall. I want our stealth ships in position, just in case." Volkov nodded grimly. "You think the Council might have ulterior motives, General?" Chen's eyes hardened. "I think we need to be prepared for anything. Humanity has worked too hard, sacrificed too much, to be caught off guard now." As the diplomatic niceties continued aboard the Harmony, the real dance was just beginning. Each side probed for weaknesses, fished for information, all while maintaining a veneer of openness and cooperation. The fate of Earth, and perhaps the galaxy itself, would be shaped by the conversations and decisions made in the coming hours. But unbeknownst to either the humans or the Council representatives, other forces were at work. In the shadows of the Oort cloud, at the very edge of the solar system, a dark ship waited. Its hull absorbed all light, making it nearly invisible against the backdrop of space. Inside, a figure cloaked in shadows watched the proceedings with keen interest. "So," the figure mused, its voice a harsh whisper, "the game begins at last. Let them play at diplomacy. Soon, they will all learn the true cost of power in this uncaring universe." As the diplomatic shuttle docked with the Harmony, the seeds of both great alliances and terrible conflicts were being sown. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what this upstart species from a backwater planet would do next. The betrayal. As the diplomatic talks aboard the Harmony stretched into their third day, tensions on both sides began to simmer beneath the surface of polite discourse. Captain Maya Donovan found herself increasingly frustrated by the Council's patronizing attitude towards humanity's achievements. "With all due respect, Ambassador Lyra," Maya said, her patience wearing thin, "you seem to be under the impression that we're seeking your permission to exist in this galaxy. We're not. We're here to establish our place as equals." Lyra's empathic senses picked up on the human's frustration, but her own irritation was beginning to show as well. "Captain, you must understand. Your species has advanced at an unprecedented rate. The Council has protocols in place for a reason. We cannot simply—" She was cut off by a sudden commotion outside the conference room. The door slid open to reveal a flustered Grax, his scales flushed with agitation. "Ambassador, we have a situation. Our long-range sensors have detected movement in the Oort cloud. Something big." Maya's hand instinctively went to her communicator, but she found it jammed. Her eyes narrowed as she looked at Lyra. "What's going on, Ambassador?" Before Lyra could respond, the lights in the room flickered and died, plunging them into darkness. Emergency lighting kicked in, bathing everything in an eerie red glow. Back on Earth, General Chen was facing a crisis of her own. Alarms blared throughout the command center as reports flooded in from around the globe. "General," Captain Volkov shouted over the din, "we're detecting multiple security breaches at our primary research facilities. Someone's trying to access our classified databases." Chen's blood ran cold. This was no coincidence. "Lock it all down," she ordered. "Initiate blackout protocol." General Chen's orders echoed through the command center as chaos erupted. Screens flickered with warning messages, and the hum of emergency generators filled the air. Captain Volkov's fingers flew over his console, initiating security protocols and firewalls. "It's not just our databases, General," he reported, his voice tense. "We're detecting unauthorized launches from our lunar base. Someone's hijacking our prototype ships." Chen's mind raced. This level of coordination could only mean one thing. They had a traitor in their midst. Her eyes scanned the room, looking for any sign of suspicious activity among her staff. "Lock down all communication channels," she ordered. "No one gets in or out without my direct authorization." As the command center scrambled to contain the breach, a different kind of betrayal was unfolding aboard the Harmony. The emergency lights cast long shadows across the conference room as Maya Donovan faced off against Ambassador Lyra and Security Chief Grax. "I demand to know what's going on," Maya said, her voice cold with barely contained fury. "You've jammed our communications. Is this how the Galactic Council conducts peaceful negotiations?" Lyra's large eyes were filled with genuine confusion and distress. "Captain Donovan, I assure you, we had no knowledge of this. Something is very wrong here." Grax, however, seemed less surprised. His scaled hand rested on the weapon at his hip, his reptilian eyes narrowed with suspicion. "Perhaps," he growled, "this is a human ploy, a distraction while your fleet makes its move." The accusation hung in the air, tension thick enough to cut with a knife. But before anyone could respond, the ship shuddered violently, throwing them all off balance. "We're under attack," Grax shouted, activating his comlink. "Bridge, report." The response came through garbled and filled with static. "Unknown vessels emerged from the Oort cloud. energy signatures unlike anything we've seen. As chaos engulfed both the Harmony and Earth's command centers, a shadowy figure moved through the corridors of the lunar base. Dr. Ilara Venn, once one of Earth's most brilliant scientists, now moved with purpose towards the hangar bay. Her eyes, once warm and curious, now held a cold, determined gleam. She approached a sleek, experimental craft, its hull gleaming under the harsh lights of the hangar. As she placed her hand on the access panel, a voice called out behind her, "Ilara, what are you doing here? The base is on lockdown." She turned to see her former colleague, Dr. James Chen, brother of General Sarah Chen, staring at her in confusion. For a moment, regret flickered across her face, but it was quickly replaced by resolve. "I'm sorry, James," she said softly, "but this is bigger than any of us. The future of our species is at stake." Before James could react, Ilara raised a small device. A pulse of energy erupted from it, and James crumpled to the floor, unconscious. Ilara stepped over his prone form and entered the ship. As the engines hummed to life, she activated a secure communication channel. "This is Stardust," she transmitted. "Package secured. Proceeding to rendezvous point." The response came immediately, a voice distorted beyond recognition. "Well done, Stardust. The Concordiat thanks you for your service. With the data you've acquired, we will reshape the galaxy." As Ilara's stolen ship burst out of the lunar hangar, alarms blared across Earth's defensive network. In the command center, General Chen received the report with a mix of shock and fury. "The traitor is Dr. Venn," Volkov reported, his voice heavy with disbelief. "She's taken the XR-37 prototype and a significant portion of our research data." Chen's hands clenched into fists. Ilara had been more than a colleague. She had been a friend, someone Chen had trusted implicitly. The betrayal stung deep, but there was no time for personal feelings. "Track her," Chen ordered. "I want every available ship in pursuit, and get me a secure line to Captain Donovan on the Harmony. We need to warn them." But as Earth's remaining fleet scrambled to respond, they found themselves facing an even greater threat. The unknown ships from the Oort cloud had begun their approach, their energy signatures overwhelming Earth's sensors. Aboard the Harmony, the situation was equally dire. Maya Donovan, Ambassador Lyra, and Security Chief Grax had made their way to the bridge, where chaos reigned. The ship's advanced sensors struggled to make sense of the approaching vessels. "This is impossible," the Harmony's science officer muttered, his multiple eyes blinking rapidly in distress. "These ships, they're using technology far beyond even our understanding." Maya's mind raced. Could these be the ships that Dr. Venn had defected to? But how could they possess technology that surpassed even the Galactic Council? As if in answer to her unspoken question, a transmission cut through the static on all frequencies. A figure appeared on the main view screen, shrouded in shadow, its features indistinct. "Greetings, remnants of the old order," the figure's distorted voice boomed. "We are the Concordiat, the future of galactic civilization. Your time is at an end. Surrender now, and you may yet have a place in the new cosmic hierarchy." Maya exchanged glances with Lyra and Grax, seeing her own shock and defiance mirrored in their alien faces. In that moment, despite their differences, a silent understanding passed between them. Whatever this Concordiat was, it threatened them all equally. "Like hell," Maya growled, turning to the Harmony's weapons officer. "Power up everything you've got. We're not going down without a fight." As the Harmony's advanced weaponry hummed to life, Earth's secret fleet emerged from hiding, taking up defensive positions around the planet. The stage was set for a battle that would determine not just the fate of humanity, but the future of the entire galaxy. In the darkness of space, Dr. Ilara Venn's stolen ship approached the Concordiat fleet. As she gazed upon the vast armada, doubt briefly flickered across her face. Had she made the right choice? But as the ship's energy signatures washed over her sensors, she steeled her resolve. This was the path to true progress, to a future where humanity would not just survive, but thrive among the stars. Little did she know that her actions had set in motion a chain of events that would shake the very foundations of galactic society. As three factions prepared for an epic confrontation, the true test of humanity's worth was about to begin. The confrontation. The void of space erupted into a dazzling display of destructive energy as the three-way battle commenced. Earth's secret fleet, the Galactic Council's diplomatic vessel Harmony, and the mysterious Concordiate Armada clashed in a conflict unlike any the Milky Way had witnessed in millennia. Aboard the Artemis, the flagship of Earth's fleet, Captain Alexei Volkov gripped the arms of his command chair, his knuckles white with tension. "Status report," he barked, his eyes fixed on the tactical display. "Our stealth systems are holding." "Sir," his tactical officer responded. "The Concordiate ships don't seem to have locked onto our position yet. But their firepower, it's off the charts. The Harmony is taking a beating." Volkov's mind raced. The plan had been to reveal their fleet gradually, to negotiate from a position of strength. But now, with this new player on the field, they had no choice but to show their full hand. "Initiate attack pattern Omega," he ordered, "and open a channel to the Harmony. Let's show these Council aliens what humanity can really do." On the bridge of the Harmony, chaos reigned. Consoles sparked and alien crew members rushed to contain the damage from the Concordiate's relentless assault. Ambassador Lyra, her usual composure shattered, clung to a railing as the ship shuddered under another impact. "Our shields are failing," Grax growled, his warrior's instincts taking over. "We can't take much more of this." Suddenly, the tactical display lit up with new signatures. Maya Donovan, who had refused to leave the Harmony despite the danger, felt a surge of pride as she recognized the energy patterns. "Ambassador," she said, a fierce grin spreading across her face, "I think our reinforcements have arrived." As if on cue, a transmission cut through the static. "Harmony, this is Captain Volkov of the Earth vessel Artemis. Looks like you could use a hand. Mind if we cut in?" Before Lyra could respond, the space around them lit up with weapons fire. Earth's fleet had decloaked, unleashing a barrage of advanced weaponry that took the Concordiate ships by surprise. Sleek fighters zipped between capital ships, their maneuvering capabilities defying the laws of physics as understood by the Galactic Council. In the command center on Earth, General Chen watched the battle unfold with a mixture of pride and trepidation. The holographic display showed their fleet performing admirably, their years of secret preparation paying off. But the Concordiate ships were like nothing they had ever encountered. "General," one of her analysts called out, "we're detecting some kind of spatial anomaly forming behind the Concordiate fleet. Energy readings are off the charts." Chen's eyes narrowed. "Show me." The display zoomed in on a section of space behind the Concordiate Armada. There, a swirling vortex of energy was forming, growing larger by the second. "It's some kind of wormhole," the analyst said, his voice filled with awe. "But the power required to generate something like that, it's beyond anything we've ever theorized." Chen's mind raced. If the Concordiate had this kind of technology at their disposal, the battle might already be lost. Unless, "Get me a direct line to the Artemis and the Harmony," she ordered. "I have a plan, but it's going to require all of us working together." As the battle raged on, Dr. Ilara Venn found herself in the heart of the Concordiate flagship. The ship's interior was a marvel of biomechanical engineering, pulsing with an eerie, otherworldly energy. But as she was led deeper into the vessel, doubt began to gnaw at her. "Your contribution has been most valuable, Dr. Venn," the distorted voice of the Concordiate leader echoed through the corridors. "With the data you've provided, our victory is assured. The galaxy will enter a new age of progress and order." Ilara swallowed hard. "And humanity's place in this new order. What you promised." The leader's laugh sent chills down her spine. "Oh, humanity will have its place, as will all species who recognize the superiority of the Concordiate. Those who resist, well, the implications hung heavy in the air. Ilara's mind raced. Had she doomed her entire species in her pursuit of scientific progress? Back in the thick of the battle, the Artemis and the Harmony found themselves fighting side by side. Despite their earlier mistrust, human and alien crews worked in surprising harmony, their complementary technologies proving effective against the Concordiate onslaught. Captain Volkov, Maya's voice crackled over the comm. We're receiving a transmission from Earth. General Chen says she has a plan. Volkov raised an eyebrow. Let's hear it. At this point, I'm open to suggestions. General Chen's holographic image appeared on both ships' bridges. Listen carefully, she said, her voice tight with urgency. That wormhole the Concordiate is generating. We think it's their escape route, but it's also their weakness. If we can destabilize it, the energy backlash should disable their entire fleet. And how do you propose we do that? Grax asked, skepticism clear in his voice. With this, Chen replied. A schematic appeared, showing a device of clearly human design. It's a prototype phase inverter. It was designed to manipulate spatial anomalies. If we can get it close enough to the wormhole, it would disrupt the energy matrix. Lyra finished, her scientific curiosity overcoming her earlier doubts about human technology. It's brilliant, but incredibly risky. Whoever delivers that device might not make it back. A heavy silence fell over both bridges. The plan was audacious, possibly suicidal, but it was their best shot at victory. I'll do it, Maya and Volkov said simultaneously. They looked at each other through the holographic display, a moment of understanding passing between them. No, a new voice cut in. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, who had been working tirelessly in the Harmony Science Lab, stepped forward. It should be me. I helped design the inverter. I know its capabilities better than anyone. Before anyone could argue, alarms blared across both ships. The Concordiate fleet was making a push, concentrating their fire on the Harmony. We're out of time, Grax growled. Make your decision. In that moment, as weapons fire streaked across the void and the fate of multiple civilizations hung in the balance, the true test of humanity's place in the galaxy was about to be decided. The next few minutes would determine whether Earth's forbidden fleet would be remembered as the salvation of the galaxy or the harbinger of its doom. The resolution. The decision was made in a heartbeat, born of desperation and newfound trust, between species that had been strangers mere days ago. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, her face set with determination, stood in the Harmony's launch bay, the prototype phase inverter clutched tightly in her arms. Around her, a mixed crew of humans and aliens worked feverishly to prepare a specially modified shuttle for its suicide mission. Are you sure about this, Doc? Maya asked, her voice tight with concern. There's a good chance this is a one-way trip. Elena managed a small smile. Someone has to do it, Captain. Might as well be the person who knows how this thing works. She patted the inverter. Besides, I became a scientist to make a difference. Can't think of a better way to do that than saving the galaxy. As final preparations were made, the battle outside reached a fever pitch. Earth's fleet and the Harmony fought with everything they had. But the Concordiate's superior technology was slowly but surely gaining the upper hand. Aboard the Concordiate flagship, Dr. Ilara Venn watched the battle unfold with growing horror. The enormity of her betrayal weighed heavily upon her. She had been so certain that the Concordiate represented the next step in galactic evolution, but now she saw only destruction and the potential enslavement of her own species. Making a split-second decision, she slipped away from her Concordiate minders and made her way to what she hoped was a communication array. Her fingers flew over the alien controls, drawing on everything she had learned since her defection. If she could just warn her former colleagues. Back on the Harmony, Elena's shuttle was ready for launch. As she strapped herself in, a transmission suddenly cut through the static on all channels. This is Dr. Ilara Venn. A familiar voice rang out, causing General Chen back on Earth to sit up straight in shock. The Concordia's wormhole technology is unstable. The phase inverter will work, but it needs to be detonated from inside the wormhole itself. I'm transmitting shield frequencies and navigational data now. Good luck. And I'm sorry. The transmission cut off abruptly, leaving stunned silence in its wake. Elena looked at the new data streaming across her shuttle's display, her mind racing with the implications. Doctor, Lyra's voice came over the comm. With this new information, the chances of survival are still pretty slim. Elena finished for her, but better than they were. Besides, we're out of options and nearly out of time. Ongoing. With that, the shuttle launched, streaking away from the Harmony towards the swirling vortex of the Concordia's wormhole. The battle seemed to pause for a moment, all eyes drawn to the tiny craft on its desperate mission. Cover that shuttle, Volkov bellowed, and the Artemis unleashed a barrage of weapons fire, carving a path through the Concordia fleet. On Earth, in hidden bases and public spaces alike, humans watched in awe as the battle was broadcast globally. The secret of the Forbidden Fleet was out, and with it, the knowledge that humanity was not alone in the universe. But would this be their first and last contact? Elena's shuttle dodged and weaved through weapons fire, the wormhole growing larger in her viewport. Warning alarms blared as the shuttle systems began to destabilize in the face of the enormous energies being generated. Almost there, Elena muttered, her hands dancing over the controls. The phase inverter hummed ominously beside her, ready to unleash its reality. Elena's shuttle pierced the outer edge of the wormhole, alarms screaming as reality itself seemed to warp around her. The phase inverter's hum rose to a fever pitch, harmonizing with the impossible energies of the spatial anomaly. Shuttle status. General Chen's voice crackled over the comm, strained with tension. Holding together, barely, Elena responded, her fingers flying over the controls. I'm approaching the theoretical epicenter, preparing to initiate the inverter sequence. Back in the heart of the battle, the Artemis and the Harmony fought side by side, their crews working in perfect synchronization. Human ingenuity melded seamlessly with alien technology, creating a defense that even the mighty Concordia fleet struggled to penetrate. We need to buy the doctor more time, Captain Volkov growled, his eyes fixed on the tactical display. Ambassador Lyra nodded, her earlier reservations about humanity forgotten in the heat of battle. Agreed. Harmony. Divert all non-essential power to weapons and shields. We stand with Earth. The declaration sent a ripple of solidarity through both crews. Humans and aliens alike redoubled their efforts, their shared determination to survive forging bonds stronger than any diplomatic treaty. Inside the wormhole, Elena's shuttle bucked and shuddered as she maneuvered towards the heart of the anomaly. Warning lights flashed across her console as systems failed one by one. This is it, she muttered, her hand hovering over the inverter's activation switch. A moment of doubt flickered through her mind. Was this really the right choice? Could she trust Ilara's information after her betrayal? But as she looked out at the swirling chaos of the wormhole, Elena knew there was no turning back. With a deep breath, she slammed her hand down on the switch. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a silent roar that seemed to shake the very fabric of space-time, the phase inverter came to life. Waves of energy pulsed outward, colliding with the wormhole's structure. The anomaly began to warp and twist, its carefully maintained stability crumbling. On the bridges of ships across the battlefield, sensors went wild as the wormhole's collapse began. The Concordia fleet, caught off guard by the sudden turn of events, fell into disarray. It's working, Maya exclaimed, watching as Concordia ships nearest to the wormhole began to lose power, caught in the backlash of the collapsing anomaly. But the victory was bittersweet. There was no sign of Elena's shuttle emerging from the chaos. As the wormhole's death throes reached their peak, a blinding flash of light erupted, forcing everyone to shield their eyes. When the glare faded, the wormhole was gone, along with a significant portion of the Concordia fleet. In the stunned silence that followed, a weak transmission cut through the static. "This is Dr. Rodriguez. Did we do it? Did it work?" Cheers erupted across the Human and Harmony crews. Against all odds, Alina had survived, her shuttle flung clear of the collapse at the last possible moment. As the remaining Concordiate ships retreated in disarray, the true impact of what had transpired began to sink in. Humanity, in cooperation with the Galactic Council forces, had faced down a threat that could have enslaved the entire galaxy. In the aftermath of the battle, as rescue operations began and diplomats from Earth and the Council started the long process of formal introductions, the crew of the Artemis received an unexpected hail. Dr. Ilara Ven's face appeared on the view screen, her expression a mixture of regret and resolve. "I know I have no right to ask this," she began, "but I want to help make things right. The Concordiate's technology. I've seen things that could revolutionize our understanding of the universe. If you'll have me, I'd like to come home and share what I've learned." General Chen, watching from Earth, felt a complex mix of emotions at the sight of her old friend. "The road to redemption is long, Ilara," she said carefully, "but it begins with a single step. Come home. We have a lot to discuss." In the days and weeks that followed, the galaxy experienced a seismic shift. Earth, once thought to be a backwater world of little consequence, was now recognized as a major player on the galactic stage. The Forbidden Fleet, combined with humanity's demonstrated ability to reverse engineer and improve upon alien technology, made them a force to be reckoned with. But it was more than just military might that impressed the Galactic Council. Humanity's adaptability, their ability to form alliances and work alongside alien species in the heat of battle, showed a potential that could not be ignored. In a historic ceremony aboard the Harmony, now repaired and gleaming, representatives from Earth signed the Galactic Concord, officially joining the interstellar community. Ambassador Lyra, standing alongside Captain Maya Donovan, addressed the assembled dignitaries. "Today, we welcome humanity not just as allies, but as friends," Lyra proclaimed. "Their ingenuity, their courage, and their unwavering spirit in the face of overwhelming odds have proven that they are ready to take their place among the stars." As the ceremony concluded and celebration erupted across Earth and 1,000 alien worlds, Dr. Alina Rodriguez stood at a viewport, gazing out at the star-filled expanse. Captain Volkov joined her, a respectful distance between them. "Quite a view, isn't it, Doctor?" he said softly. Alina nodded, a smile playing at her lips. "It's more beautiful than I ever imagined. And to think, this is just the beginning." Volkov chuckled. "Indeed it is. The galaxy had better watch out. Humanity has arrived, and we're here to stay." As the Harmony began its journey back to the Galactic Council's homeworld, with Earth's fleet as an honor guard, a new chapter in galactic history was beginning. Humanity's Forbidden Fleet had shocked the Galactic Council, but in doing so, it had carved out a place for Earth among the stars. The path ahead was uncertain, filled with challenges and opportunities in equal measure. But one thing was clear: humanity was ready to face whatever the universe had in store, armed with their technology, their determination, and their newfound allies. The age of Earth's isolation was over. The era of human ascendancy among the stars had begun.